So the first, what I started saying was how we have been conditioned by, as children, by society. The other thing that comes to my mind now is that when you fit in or blend in or do what everyone else is doing, it's easier. I was trying to say how I can put it, but it is easier. It is easier in the sense that there is no spotlight on you.
Welcome back to Relatable Wisdom, the podcast where everyday people share the quotes that have shaped their lives, inviting us all to reflect and grow together. Today we're joined by Agi Keramidas, a passionate mentor and author who transformed his life from a dentist in Greece to a leading voice in personal development. With a heart for self-mastery and a mission to inspire others, Agi's journey is a testament to the power of curiosity and courage. Let's dive into Agi's story and discover the wisdom that has guided him along the way.
Tell us your name and your favorite quote.
My name is Agi Keramidas. I'm the host of Personal Development Mastery podcast, and the quote is "Stand out, don't fit in," which I say on my podcast every time, every episode.
What does it mean to stand out? Right? What does that mean?
Stand out. Yes, there are two pieces in that phrase, so it's good to speak about them separately if you want. So stand out, it is not about being better. So many people think that stand out means that, I am better than others, but this is not what I mean. What I mean by stand out means to be who you are. By being who you are, and I mean the true you, the authentic you, that makes you stand out because you are unique. Each of us is unique. There's no one else like us. So that is for me the standing out is to being true to who we are, and by being true to who we are, inevitably we will kind of separate in a sense from what most people do, which is the other part of the sentence, the fitting in.
When I hear the statement, the first thing I'm thinking of is, stand that it's in two ways. It could either be for you do the most terrible things and then you're different from the rest, or you could do
obviously. Yes, I'm talking about good things, and for me I'm talking about personal development and how we can be better versions of ourselves. Of course I imply that stand out in a good way, taking good action and not standing out in the other way. Yes, of course.
So in essence, you don't be different.
Be different, but be different according to who you are. That's what I mean by be different. Don't be different for the sake of being different. If that means that you are not authentic to yourself, you're not following what you believe, what you feel, what you think, then that's not what I mean. I mean really feeling and understanding who you are, what you like, what is important to you, where would you like to go, and by this to be and take the action that will, make you stand out. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea is try to be yourself, and when you be yourself, you basically stand out because you are different from everyone else.
Yes.
So now, what is the question that is just running through my mind is, it seems to make sense that you should try to be yourself, but then why is it that everybody fits in? Because I mean, if everybody was standing out, you would not be using that punchline or giving that advice.
It's a good question. It's a very good question. And what makes us, that's a big topic, what makes us fit in. I suppose the first answer that comes to my mind is the social or the societal conditioning. That's how we have been conditioned from, from children and on, that it is better to fit in because people connect with you. When I still remember at school, when there was someone, let's say I had one of the guys at school, he was very tall. So he would not fit in with us. We would point him. So there was a point at him. So there is this, element. So I went sideways with this. So ask me again the question. I will continue from where I went.
Like, no, you're doing great. Like, we love stories. That's one of the things we love on the podcast. And as much stories you can, use to support your answers, that would be greatly appreciated. So I was saying that you're giving the advice, standards don't fit in. And if everybody was standing out, there will be no need for that advice. So the question, why is
Yes.
it that people try to fit in? Why don't they just be different, be themselves?
So the first what I started saying was how we have been conditioned by as children, by society. The other thing that comes to my mind now is that when you fit in or blend in or do what everyone else is doing, it's easier. I was trying to say how I can put it, but it is easier. It is easier in the sense that there is no spotlight on you. If you blend in with the others, let's say all your friends smoke cigarettes, it's easier for you to also smoke cigarettes because you fit in with them. If you stand your ground and you say, though, but no, I don't want to do that because it's bad for the health, you will be in a class with that group of people. So for many, and of course you should be in a class with this kind of people, but because you become like your friends. But this is the kind. It is an example of how this works. It is easier to fit in, and many people to avoid being on their own or being judged, or there are so many things really. They prefer to fit in. The problem is that when we fit in, we don't really do what we were talking about earlier. We are not authentic to ourselves. We're not true to ourselves. And of course, that presents itself in people's life with lots of different ways. But the main one that comes to my mind is that feeling of, I'm not fulfilled. I'm not happy in my life. There is something more. I need something more. It's a long topic, and I'm glad you asked me that, Wisdom.
Yeah. Standards don't fit in. Standards don't fit in. For me, I know as much as you've explained it appears like standards is easy, right? It's just a question of being yourself. But it's not. Because
It's
if it was,
simple, but it's not easy.
it's not.
It is simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah. Because if it was, everyone would be doing it, right? We have all these yardsticks. Oh, you measure this, you have to be like this, be like that, be like that. And sometimes we don't even know who we are, what we want in the first place. And so it's hard
That's where
to
it's
really
all.
play to our
I
uniqueness.
think that's where it all begins from knowing ourselves. Because if you don't know who you are and what you want, how can you be authentic to it? So that is definitely the first step, this introspection, looking and exploring ourselves. Or know thyself. You know the phrase know thyself. It's one of the most probably famous pieces of wisdom in the history. But what does it really mean, and who actually practices that know thyself and look inside and understand themselves?
Yeah. And Socrates was one that said, "Man, know thyself." One other quote he did mention is, "Which kind of help supports knowing thyself is the unexamined life is not worth living." And it goes back to, you have to sit down and ask yourself, okay, what do I really want? I mean, everybody says you should do this stuff, but do I need to be doing this stuff? Why? Like, well, is it what I want to, or is it something else? And that's something that's really scarce these days. I know people don't really spend time sitting down. These 2 hours, I'm going to sit down to just think and reason out something.
I'm glad that you are familiar with the Greek philosophy, because I am Greek originally. So
Oh, wow.
the non-examined life is it's definitely a very correct thing. And examining our life, we need to do it often, very often, not just once a year or once a quarter. We have to do it on a daily basis. I will say even more than that, if we can, moment to moment basis. Of course, that is not very easy, but the more the more often we do it, the better it is.
Standards don't fit in. Standards don't fit in. And earlier on, you talked about how society has conditioned us, to want to fit in. And there's the peers, our friends. But then when you were explaining the part about friends, I was like, wait, maybe in a way, I know, in a way, since our friends and society kind of, encourage us to try to fit in, maybe it could also be a way that if you want to do certain things, what you could do is change the set of friends such that, the friend, I don't know if it makes sense. Let's see, when you've done examine and realize that this is what I want, this is the kind of thing I want to be, instead of staying with the friends that don't align with that purpose, you switch friends such that you're not fighting it to be different, to be who you, because the people that are around you, they do have, like, if I want to be a content creator, for example, it would be nice if I have friends that are podcasters and content creators, because then it's easier. I don't have to try to explain or convince them to understand what I'm trying to do, right? In a way, that also works for our own good.
I think real friends support each other. So if I go to my friends and tell them, you know what, guys, this is what I want, or this is my dream, or these are my thoughts, the real friends will support or try to understand. I'm not necessarily agree with it, but coming from their friend, they would at least listen and understand what the point of view is. And if their friend wants to be a better person, by to go to that example I was saying earlier about smoking, by the desire to be a better person, inevitably will take you away from those people. And that's all right. I mean, it happens in life. We have people that we relate to for longer, others for shorter. I think the whole point is to become aware of this whole situation of when we are fitting in without even realizing that we're fitting in, and we are agreeing with something that someone else says without even thinking about it. We just say yes, yes. That is a form of fitting in if we really don't agree with it. So becoming aware of the times that we do that is very important. It's a very important step to take.
Yeah. One of the things I've noticed, just to for us to talk about friends, the environment, personal development. One of the things that facilitates reaching goals and other things is having a good environment that encourages that, and having a system that encourages that. And part of the things about environment is, just apart from physical environment, it's also your friends, the people, content you consume, and all those things that surround you. I've noticed that people are afraid of the things that they do not understand, right? If I come up with a goal that, I'm going to do this, or let's say I tell someone that, I'm a podcast, that's what I do, that's the stuff I do, and they don't even know what podcasting is. They're like, what's that? You should get a week. Honestly, like, the people are afraid of, I get it, but you trying to explain to them sometimes, it's not just, I mean, I've been there, it's not.
If I may add to what you just said, I will say, first of all, congratulations for doing a podcast from Nigeria, which is, I know it is not as popular there as it is in the UK or in America, or so it is great that you are doing it, and I think you are doing it very well. So please keep it up. No, that's great. The other thing that came to my mind was that story. I don't know, maybe you have heard of it or seen it. When the fishermen grab crabs, they put all the crabs inside the bucket. And they don't have to put a lid on the bucket. They can just leave a bucket that has crabs in it, just open, because the crabs won't go out. Because here's what happens. Once one of the crabs starts climbing up to go outside of the bucket, the other crabs grab him and pull him down. So that is a very, I think, very good example of, fitting, fitting in, and how the others don't allow you to, do what you want to do. The crab wants to go out, but the others just grab him down. So it is, I think, it is a useful story to remember in these situations.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that story. Like it made perfect, made perfect sense. Right, standard don't fit in. And I'm just gonna give an example in terms of content creation. Right, in terms of content, a lot of persons they want to make a Me Too content. So Me Too content is, I'll give an example. Let's say personal development. I'll say how to be successful in life. That stuff, of course, it's valuable. Nobody wants to lean into their uniqueness or say, okay, let's say you served in the military, right? Those are your unique experiences that you could say, okay, how to be disciplined from the perspective of a Marine, if you did serve in the Marine or Navy, or in the military, right? That's a unique experience. Or you could say, oh, in content creation, right? Standing out is one of those things that's easy to apply, because now it's about how to look at my past, the things I've done, my stories, and how can I connect them, use that as metaphors for the content that I create, such that I infuse my stories into it. And it's not just when people consume the content, it's me. It's like if you remove me from the content, there is no content. If it makes sense. So it's not just something you can just put in AI and generate, and then boom, we have content. We could also apply that in different aspects of law. Yeah, it's just be yourself. And I know there's the word authentic has been used so much that even me, I don't even know what people use authentic for, things that are not even, when we're never talking about authentic, they're like, oh, try to be authentic. And I'm like, are we talking about the same thing right now? And yeah, standards don't fit in. Standard don't fit in. Oh, thank you so much.
I'm glad it resonates. I'm glad it resonates with you.
Yeah, I'm glad we were able to like find a time to, record the meeting, and after upload back and forth. And if you okay, I did ask you the question, and I might remind you, what kind of message or takeaway would you love listeners to walk away with after this episode? And the answer you gave was that each of us has a unique reason for being here, and that it is up to us to live our lives accordingly and authentically. So I just wanted to remind you, but I'm asking the same question, right? Should I ask it?
No, I'm thinking of the best way to put it without repeating the same words that you just read now. But based on the conversation that we had, I would really say to someone listening right now that true fulfillment in life and progress and growth happen when we follow what our true path is. And our true path is what each of us, inside of us, I mean, no one knows for anyone else. We each know what our path is, and we have to understand it first. We have to understand it first in order to follow it. So what I would say to someone listening is write down, take your, since we were talking earlier about the non-examined life not worth living, I would invite the listener to take a piece of paper or their journal or wherever they write their notes and answer some questions. The one question that I remember when I first answered myself for the very first time, I thought, wow, why did I not ask myself this question before? And this question is, what's most important to me in my life? What's most important to me in my life? So take a blank page and start writing. You can write as much as little as you want, but obviously the more the more you think and you allow your answers to come and write them, the better it gets. So it's a very powerful question, and it leads to self-awareness, and we're talking about the self. So what's most important to me in my life?
Yeah. Oh, thanks for sharing that question with us, and thanks for sharing your favorite quote with us today. Where can What do you do, and where can listeners learn more about you and what you do?
I will invite someone who enjoyed this conversation we had to listen to my podcast, which is called Personal Development Mastery. You will find it easily. So from there on, we can continue the connection.
Yeah. Once again, thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast. I got so much value, and thanks for the reminder for us to stand at and don't fit in.
It was my pleasure, and congratulations again. Keep up the good work you're doing with your podcast, Wisdom.
Thanks for listening to Relatable Wisdom. If you found something meaningful in this episode, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. If you'd like to support the show, you can do that by buying me a coffee. The link is in the show notes. Every little bit keeps the conversations going. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep growing.